Hey everyone, welcome to the Lions Den. I'm Jimmy Haas along with Coach Zane Gibson. It's time to talk a little UA Fort Smith basketball. Been pretty excited about this season. Seen a lot of good play. You guys just finished up with Southern Nazarene. Coach, we talked after the game. You had a team that had jumped out and put 47 on the board in the first half. And then you guys went to halftime, and we mentioned it. Bill and I talked about it on the broadcast. I said, you know what? Can't wait to see what the Lions do in the second half because I know they'll make some adjustments. You guys, the defense, all of a sudden, man, just turned the heat up, and he held them to 21 in the second half. That's a great job.
Yeah, they guarded. They did what they were supposed to do in the second half. Unfortunately, right now, our guys aren't locking on to the fact that it's a 40-minute game. We can't be really good for half a game or 10 minutes of game or a certain amount. We've got to be good for all 40 minutes. When you're playing a team like Southern Nazarene, who's a good team, who's a good team, who's had a lot of success in the past in the GAC, and I think will continue to do so. We have to play more consistently for longer stretches of time for us to have success. But they did. Our guys came out and they absolutely fought in the second half. And I actually told them in the halftime, I said, to have a chance, you have to keep them under 22. We kept them under 22, but we just didn't do enough on the offensive end to overcome that. But, yeah, no, they fought and they competed and they guarded. Just wish we would do that both halves, and I think we'd be happy with the outcomes.
Coach, the first half, I mean, it didn't seem like they could miss, especially from beyond the arc. They were at 53% in the first half. Second half, the perimeter defense, night and day. They were 1 of 12 in the second half. And it's just because you guys had a hand in their face and you were right there on top of them. So, I looked at it from that perspective. I know what the Lions are capable of. And, man, they showed it to us in that second half.
Yeah, I was listening to Kelvin Sampson talk a little bit the other day after they played Auburn and got beat at home. And he said, no one wants to lose. And that includes us up here.
Right.
But are you learning? Are you advancing? Are you getting better from those? Then a loss, is only temporary and the success will come. And I believe that with us too. As long as we're learning and getting better, that's a case in point of we short closed out some guys and weren't supposed to in the first half. And they made some shots. And also we kind of turned the ball handler loose and he got in the paint and created help and kickouts and all those things. And in the second half, we kept him more under control, didn't let him force the help, and we're a lot closer on those closeouts. And it's a direct correlation of, why they missed some shots. And that goes back to the learning phase. We just have to, when we learn, don't forget for the next one.
Right.
We have done, I don't know if we've lost the second half yet in any of the games we've played, because we will make adjustments in the live game. But we've got to be able to carry those adjustments over. And when we do that, we'll start seeing more wholesale success. I've not lost any faith or confidence in our guys. We just are, unfortunately, in a little bit of a growing pain, and we got to get through it so we can start getting the results we want on the court.
Coach Jeremy Golson was our leading scorer coming into this ball game. He had 25 points in his first game. You guys held him to 4. I mean, did you key on him? What was different? What you got him out of rhythm. I know that. And it looked like the defense just had him off balance all night long. And, whenever you shut someone that can score like that, shut him down, I mean, that says something.
Yeah, no, he was a main focus of ours in the scouting report. We had 2 of them, and we did take care of him. Stevie Strong was the other one that we did not do as well on, particularly in the first half. Second half, we made him take some tougher shots, and he started missing. But in the first half, he was pretty good. They did a really nice job on Golson. They took him away. We talked about making him make a bounce and not letting him get his feet set because he can really, really shoot the ball. They listened to that, and that's where they've made progress as a group. But we just got to keep chipping away and keep getting it further and further advanced, because I do think we've got some great physical traits. Again, we didn't shoot the ball at a high percentage, and we're right there at the end because we do so many other good things.
Right.
That when we do have good shooting nights, we can be very, very tough to play versus, because I think the other stuff will translate all the time.
So one of the things that I noticed, and one of the things that I always try to focus on and make sure that I keep track of, so many times you'll see teams that will lose a ball game, and it could come down to, as something like a free throw. This team you guys shot 82% from the free throw line. You're going to win ball games when you do that.
Yeah, no, we will. Had we done that in the Harding game, we would have won that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just consistency.
Right.
That's probably the word that needs to ring most in our office in the locker room right now is consistent play, constant consistent play, and that's from the free throw line, that's from taking care of the ball, that's for defensive assignments, that's for rotations. If we can do that consistently, I think our ceiling is still really, really high. It's our inconsistencies that are kind of costing us these close games right now. And when you're in a close game, it's a possession here, a possession there, and it doesn't mean at the end of the game. It can be a possession in the first half that comes back to bite you in the second half because it ends up being a 1-2 point game that if we would have taken care of it in the first half, then the 1 or 2 points flips to our side. So we've just got to continue to be consistent, constant with our effort and our intensity, and I think good things will flip over for us.
So the last couple of seconds of the ball game, got the ball in bounds, needed to do that, needed to move it down the court quickly. Williams had a really good open look. He had to head fake the defender to get him to go by him, and he still managed to get a shot off before the buzzer. Had a good look at it, man. I mean, that thing was close. It could have went either way. I know that sitting down on the end of the press bench where I was at, I know that the visiting coaches, there was a big gasp. They're like, man, because they knew they got away with one.
Yeah, that's a shot again. You'll see it on SportsCenter tonight. Somebody will make that shot. And that's, again, where we just got to keep plugging. If that ball goes in, do we feel differently right now? Yeah, we do for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't lose sight of why we were in that position. If we play like we did in the second half of both halves, the game's not really a game.
Right.
So, I'm hoping we get a couple to go our way. I still feel like the basketball gods might owe us a couple from last year for some shots going in that maybe shouldn't have against us. So we're just going to keep plugging along. We're not going to feel sorry for ourselves. We're just going to keep working and see if we can't get this thing turned around here on Wednesday.
So we do this Lions Den show every week from Randall Ford here in Fort Smith. Been around since 1908, and whenever we approached them about doing it, hosting it here, they're like, absolutely, just come sit by our campfire. Of course, hopefully next week Justin will be here on time where he can.
We would love that.
Set up and get the campfire in the shot again. I had to bust him. Hey, I just had to bust his chops. Quincy's coming up Wednesday. You're on the road. That's Illinois. Long road trip. They're 3-2 on the year. Haven't played this team since 2010.
Yep.
So what's the scouting report show you? With Quincy, they have 4 players scoring in double digits. A couple of them scoring 10, one scoring 14, one scoring 11. So not just one particular person that's the go-to superstar, but a pretty balanced team.
Yeah, they actually have just beaten 2 MIAA teams in Missouri Southern and Central Missouri. So obviously they have our attention because anytime you can beat a team in our league, we respect that opponent. And when you watch them on tape, they are just super solid. Like they don't hurt themselves. And I think that's the biggest compliment I can give them is they just play within themselves. They try to stay in their team structure. They kind of have a continuity offense. They move hard. They'll play hard defensively. They're kind of connected. They don't do anything that just jumps off the page at you that you're like, whoa. But they do a lot of stuff that makes you win games. Kind of the stuff we're talking about with us. If we did a little bit more consistently, the success we would have, they're doing that right now. And it's going to be a really tough test. It is a 7-hour road trip. And so it'll be the longest one we've taken so far. But if we do the things that we're supposed to do, I still have a lot of confidence that we can be successful on the road. But it absolutely will be a challenge for us, and it will not be easy playing in enemy territory, way away from home. I don't think there'll be very many Lions fans up there 7 hours.
Right.
And the day before Thanksgiving, it's kind of a jack of all trades. They could have a fantastic crowd because people are off work and out of school, and they could also might not have as good a crowd. I don't know. So we're kind of in the unknown a little bit of how the environment will be.
Coach, they average 71 points a game. They're giving up 73. Lions are averaging 79, almost 80. and giving up 72. So this should be a pretty close matchup. You know, you always give 4 or 5 points to the home court advantage. So 7-hour road trip. You guys will leave Tuesday?
Well, yeah, we'll leave tomorrow morning. Try to get up there early to try to shake off the bus as much as you can, and practice up there tomorrow evening, and then see what happens on Wednesday.
Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Jimmy.
All right, we will. We'll be following you. We'll have the game on here at Randall. I know that. Hey, listen, if you're wanting to watch the Lions when they're on the road, really easy. Just go to UA Fort Smith men's basketball. Go to the schedule. Run down to the game that they're on, and just click on the watch. It's that easy. So you can follow the Lions at home, at the Stubblefield, or on the road. Get those season tickets and be a part of the Lions basketball this year. For Coach Zane Gibson, I'm Jimmy Haas. We've got Coach Ryan McAdams coming up, so stay tuned. More of the Lions Den. Back in the Lions Den, I'm Jimmy Haas. We got Chris Davis with us, our sales manager at Randall Ford. Chris, sitting here warming my hands over the fire in the Bronco display. A lot of good stuff going on at Randall Ford right now. It's not too late to take advantage of some savings.
That is true. This month is winding down. We are in Turkey Week now. Trucks Giving is still going. We mentioned it the last time we were on here, we're actually getting ready to go and purchase the turkeys here in just a few minutes.
Right.
We are purchasing a turkey for every new truck sold this month. In that customer's name, we're purchasing a turkey to donate to the Community Services Clearinghouse to make sure that everybody has a great Thanksgiving this year.
You know, Randall Ford's always jumping on board with different promotions and different charities. We're still doing Toys for Tots, so people can drop off their unwrapped toys here either in service or in sales.
Yes. We do Toys for Tots every year. It's a big seller. We usually have a couple of trucks out here. We fill up the beds of those trucks with all the toys just to make sure that we want to give back to everybody that is nice enough to give to Randall Ford.
Well, one of the other ways Randall Ford's giving back is the sale that we've got going on now, because we're giving them back some cash.
Yes, this is a Vember to remember, because we're not saying no to any reasonable offer this month. We want to make sure and blow these things out of here. Ford is delivering new trucks every day to us.
Yeah.
We're stacking up, and that means more savings to everybody out there.
Now, something else that Randall Ford is offering, and I'm kind of proud of this, because you come up with this idea, and now it's starting to take hold. People are starting to realize it. On all of our EVs, if you come in and buy either a Mach-E, an electric Mach-E, or the Lightning trucks, they get a little something extra that no other dealerships are giving them. Nowhere in America is this happening except at Randall Ford. Pretty proud of that.
Thank you for mentioning that, Jimmy. We did come up with this. What we want to do is the one thing that everybody that wants to buy an electric vehicle is say, I want an electric vehicle, but I'm worried about range anxiety. I don't know if I get that vehicle, if I go off driving somewhere, am I going to be able to find a charger? How long is it going to take? Am I going to have to sit there and wait for 45 minutes to 2 hours if I find a charger, if there's not a line? We've taken care of that. This is only at Randall Ford. If you buy an electric vehicle from Randall Ford, we will give you 3 rental certificates per year as long as you own that vehicle. So if it comes Thanksgiving time, you want to go see Annie Ethel down in Texas, but you're worried about driving your electric vehicle, you come tell us. We will give you a gas vehicle to drive down there for the week.
Right.
3 weeks is what you get every year. You can take that down there for a week. You can just stop and get gas like a normal vehicle. Don't worry about that. We'll give you a free charger. So your electric vehicle, you bring it at your house, charge it every night, do that, but you take the trips on Randall Ford.
And it doesn't cost you anything.
No charge.
And while you're here, you just drop your EV off. We'll pamper it, rotate the tires.
Yeah.
And, that's just one way that you've come up with, for Randall Ford to distance themselves between the competition.
Yeah, that's only at Randall Ford. You go buy an electric vehicle somewhere else, it's not, that deal doesn't exist. That is only, That's a Randall Ford exclusive, the Randall Advantage.
Happy Thanksgiving, boss.
Happy Thanksgiving,
All right,
Jimmy.
man. Hey, come see us at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. We got Coach Ryan McAdams coming up next in the Lions Den. Welcome back to the Lions Den at Randall Ford in Fort Smith. Great to have Coach Ryan McAdams on with us. And Coach, Southeastern Oklahoma come into the house the other day and Man, that was a great game. It was an exciting game. And continuing your winning ways. You're on a five win streak right now. Great job.
Thank you. Yeah, the kids really showed up and played well. We shot the ball well in the first half, had a really good second quarter, kind of created the distance we needed. Had plenty of good individual performances, but just the unselfishness the team play was definitely one of the better games we've had.
So last year we had a consistent thing that we talked about. There was good quarters and then one quarter that just wasn't as good. And it seemed like towards the end of the year, you started working out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that trend's continued. You worked out of it. Let me throw these numbers at you. First quarter against Southeastern, you outscored them 16-14. Second quarter, 29-15.
Mm-hmm.
Third quarter, 28-22. Then you played a ton of people in the fourth quarter, and it was 30-18. But the game never was in jeopardy, and you got a lot of players into the ball game. Again, real consistent, perfect game management, great quarters, and the team is coming, and they're playing at a level that's just fantastic.
Yeah, we're priding ourselves in getting stops. The fourth quarter, honestly, it's an opportunity for us to face a little adversity. They went on a run, closed the gap a little bit. We missed a few free throws, but at the same time, it's important to go through some of those adverse situations early in the season, non-conference especially. We're playing our second true road game tomorrow and of the year, and we need to just continue to put our team and our athletes in positions of adversity where they need to kind of figure things out on their own. I'm really just happy with how that second quarter played out. We went out on them early in the first quarter. They kind of hit some shots, came back, and then we extended it into the half. And our athletes really gain energy from each other. They celebrate each other, and when shots are going down and the ball is moving and it's not sticking, we're pretty tough right now, and we want to keep that going.
Coach, I noticed in the Southeastern game, they had two players extremely talented. Now, their team is talented, very well coached, very well disciplined. You had Lindley and Kobisky.
Mm-hmm.
Both scored 22 and 20 respectively, but you shut the rest of their teams down. I mean, and I know it was frustrating for them because they had some players that were used to scoring, but you just kept that from happening.
Yeah, Kobisky too. She we limited her in the first half. We knew that she was going to come out and throw some punches. She was in foul trouble and didn't score many points. Both of them actually scored the majority of their points in the second half and the fourth quarter. Kobisky is tough. She's just really skilled at 15 feet and in and strong. And then the Lindley kid, a Murray State transfer, played for my buddy Steve Lowe at Murray. And, older kids, that's the Division II way, right? Older kids. And, they found ways to stay diligent and continue to try to score the ball for their team. But, we zeroed in on a couple of their shooters. And we feel generally almost every game, and there may be a time that we don't, but we feel right now that our point guard position oftentimes is ahead of our competitors, and so we're trying to get into the basketball, like we call it. We're trying to rattle them and keep them uncomfortable, and sometimes when you can create some discomfort on the offensive end, it's harder for your normal scoring to happen, and so that's something that we really pride ourselves on. Zanaya Thomas, Talisha Brown are both kind of leading the charge in that area, and we were able to take some of their weapons away early.
Coach, let me throw some stats at you from the game against Southeastern. Morgan Browning, 19 points. Hannah Boyette, 15 points. Sinitra Jones, 12 points. And then you had Anna Trusty, 14 points, 11 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
This was just a well-rounded game for the Lions. And there was no one person that Southeastern had to stop. They had to stop the entire team.
Yeah. Well, it's the first time Hannah's been on the floor for a game since a week and a half, maybe, at the Tech game. So, I'm sure, I don't know how much they were keyed in on her scout-wise. I pointed out after the game that Anna didn't shoot the ball terribly well. She made some free throws late, had a couple shots, but She impacted the game in the first half on the O glass, which she's now done twice this season. 6 or 7 O boards. Morgan Browning following up a rough shooting patch last weekend to kind of lead the charge offensively. Not to mention, she found Hannah once or twice in the first half in really unselfish ways. She made a heck of a skip pass in the first half from the right lane line to the left corner, where Hannah was wide open because her defender was in help. And, the facilitation, the being willing to impact the game regardless of whether you're putting the ball in the basket is something that we talk about a lot, and the kids are probably tired of hearing me talk about it, but when they execute that, Deanna Trusty going to get the ball off the rim a few times on the offensive end for putbacks or extra possessions, Morgan Browning being willing to facilitate, get some hockey assists even when she's not scoring, and on and on. Sinitra Jones trying to defend as best she could. She was in foul trouble. For her to still end up at 12 despite the foul trouble she had all game, trying to make impacts defensively. We're really happy with how bought in we are collectively right now in those ways.
So Z did what Z always does: complete game. 5 rebounds. And this is a point guard. 5 rebounds. Had assists, steals. Only turned the ball over twice. I mean, you're only going to go as far as you start with the guard, and right now Z's playing good basketball.
She's playing really good basketball. Collectively as a backcourt right now, when you talk about Z and T Brown, platooning each other the PG spot, Morgan Browning and Liv Johnson on the wings, and Hannah and Anna at the 4. We walked into our locker room with 6 turnovers at halftime, and I made that point to them that the pace we play and the way we move the basketball to limit ourselves to 6 turnovers and really take care of it, that's going to be really the key to our offensive success or not is, because we throw the thing around. And if we can do that and not hand it to the other team in live ball turnovers, if we can put it on the rim more times than we turn it over, we're in really good shape, especially when Hannah Boyette's on the run she's on. 5 for 5 from the 3-point line is significant, and when she's making shots, when we're making perimeter shots, that opens up driving lanes. And I thought Talisha Brown took over the game a little bit in the third quarter, where she just started to penetrate and drive gaps and draw fouls and put them on their heels defensively. And Z has just been steady in all stat areas, and particularly she has vastly improved her turnover numbers, and we're really proud of her for that. So if we can take care of it, we can put it on the rim before we turn it over, we're going to be a much better team than the other form.
You mentioned Talisha. She had 4 assists, finished with 9 points, 3 rebounds. Fantastic ball player.
Yeah, and just defense.
Great addition.
Yeah. Well, we're so fortunate. We're so thankful that she chose us, and she has a brother playing, I think, at Arkansas Baptist here in the state. So when mom wants to see her kids play, she can make one trip. But T was the starting point guard at one of the best teams on one of the best teams in Lone Star last year. She led the league in steals last year. So all the offensive numbers that she can accumulate are great. She's still just pesky and difficult to deal with on the defensive end. And Z has really taken some strides in that area too. She has started to engage and really prioritize defense as well. So like I say, our point guard position in some ways, despite all the scoring, despite all the talent we have, our point guard position kind of makes us go both sides of the ball, and they're really carrying out their jobs right now.
You have Drury coming up Tuesday night.
Yep.
Then the Thanksgiving break.
Yep.
So how do you keep the kids focused?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Drury's the best team we're going to play in the non-conference. It's a true road game. They beat Missouri Western from what I understand, and they're Coach Casey Bailey does a terrific job. We're thankful that she's invited us to her classic just 3 hours up the road. Our kids are very locked in right now. To be honest, we played Saturday. We were off yesterday. We're practicing today in the facility up at Drury, and then we have 2 games in 2 days. Truman will be another tough opponent on Wednesday, but we don't have the flexibility. We don't have the right really to look past anybody right now. We're still developing our own rotations, our own abilities, confidences. So I'm excited about the Drury, the Truman trip here, and then we go a week from tomorrow we open our first MIAA campaign. Right. So I think beyond that Saturday where we host Newman, and you have a finals week and you have another full week before we play one last non-conference game before Christmas break, that's when I think I'm going to have some difficulty keeping my kids engaged. But right now we're locked in, 1 through 14, and the kids are excited to be in the gym every day. Winning helps that. It doesn't hide things, but it helps things. And it really just kind of it's a joy right now to be around our group, the way they play together, the way they're building chemistry together, and the way they're competing. We're in a good place.
This will be your first time to take on Drury at UA Fort Smith. We played them 6 times in the past. Last time was in 2019. So looking forward to it. Gibbons, 18 points a game. Fantastic player for Drury.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're very well-rounded. I know Coach Lovato back in the day and all the other coaches, it's 3 hours up the road. It's a great non-conference opportunity for us to get 2 games, 1 neutral, 1 true road. We need to be tested. We need to continue to improve. Drury historically is a very top-tier program in Division II nationally. We're thrilled at the opportunity to play them on their home floor, and I'm excited to see what we're made of, tomorrow.
Well, it's going to be fun. Of course, you can go to the website and watch this game live Tuesday and Wednesday. Coach, right now your team's averaging 74.5 points per game. You're holding your opponents to 70.5. Just a great team effort on this end.
Yeah, and we scored 91 on Saturday, which was great. I would love us to continue to work that defensive average down. I love how intense we are, how engaged we are. Most of the time, there are times we relax. But if we can continue, and again, I think we've gotten into foul trouble a few times this year. We've given up too many free throws. We put people in the bonus and then allowed them to capitalize on that. The Tech game, we put them in the bonus early. Saturday, we were in much too much foul trouble. So if we can continue to guard without fouling and continue to improve in that area, I think that scoring average of our opponents is going to even continue to go down. And I love our length at the rim. I love our athleticism on the ball. We're still working on team defensive concepts as we go, but this team has a real chance on the defensive end to influence the game.
Well, it's going to be, it'll be a challenge for Drury. They have to play a complete game. You can't focus on just one player from the Lions. Anna Trusty averaging 13 points a game, 9 rebounds a game. Morgan Browning, 12 points. Hannah, 11 points. That's inside-outside game at its best. And if they focus on too much on the inside, you're going to burn them outside. They focus too much on the perimeter, you're going to burn them on the inside. So this will be a challenge for Drury. I know that they've been watching game film, but it's also a challenge for your team because you're going to have to play the same kind of game.
Yeah, and I love the fact that we are creating space for each other. We pride ourselves on letting our kids play in space. That's what we recruit to. That's what we talk about a lot is we're going to provide you space to do things quickly, efficiently, on catch. We're not an over-dribbling team. But when we're shooting the ball well on the perimeter, we create driving lanes. We create post opportunities just with space. And so, the more we can continue to shoot the ball, the more we can continue to play inside out and then back outside in. We'll see. Defense travels.
Right.
It goes wherever you're playing. You should be able to sit down in a stance and guard. Whether or not we shoot the ball well or not is yet to be determined. And if we don't, like I say, we're relying on our improving defensive concepts and team defensive chemistry to really help us win games on the road. And like I say, we played Arkansas Tech at their place. That was our first true road game. We snuck that out in overtime. Tomorrow's our second true road game of the non-conference, and I'm excited to see what we're made of.
You'll be back in town late Wednesday night.
Yep.
Take off Thursday for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
What's the plans for the team? Are they some of them going home?
Yeah.
Doing something at the campus?
Yeah. We have a number of regional kids, so they'll go home Wednesday night or Thursday morning, and we're actually off Thursday, Friday, and then we'll start going again Saturday and preparing again for Tuesday is our next game, but it's our first MIAA game. There's a little something special to that, and Northeastern State on a Tuesday at home right after a holiday break. We're hopefully the kids will be back on campus, excited to be around. We want them in the arena. And then, finish our opening MIAA week with Newman at home that Saturday. So, the kids, most of our kids are going home to their own houses. Those who are not regional are going with a teammate, and everybody will be somewhere for Thanksgiving. And celebrating the holiday together.
Cranberry sauce? No
Absolutely.
cranberry sauce.
Canned.
Canned?
Not even homemade.
Got the rings?
Yeah, absolutely. Just slice it like a loaf of bread and, give me about 4 servings. That's my favorite.
Turkey or ham?
Turkey. Yep. No doubt. I saw something on my algorithm on social media the other day. Guy said, Thanksgiving is a sides holiday. The turkey is literally the back burner compared to everything else. And
Right.
I gotta say, I'm in agreement. There's a you talk about sides and desserts. But turkey might even be ranked third in the Thanksgiving meal in my world. And I don't know if I just broke the internet, but that's my thought.
So it's just going to be the wife and I. So we're going to do surf and turf.
Okay.
I'll do lobster and some steak.
Okay.
Thanks
Outside
to
the box.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, thanks to
okay.
Paul's Meat Market
Paul's
here at
Meat
Fort
Market.
Smith.
Okay.
One of the best.
Shop local, absolutely. Support the mom and pop. And by the way, thank you for bringing that. We've had some amazing support just from local businesses here, providing our team post-game meals. We've had Goodfellas and Jersey Mike's and JJ's Grill, and we're just so thankful to the local businesses that support our athletic department as a whole, but also our women's basketball program. And our athletes are always very thankful and very appreciative of the support from the local businesses here in Fort Smith.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're here at Randall Ford,
Yes.
fourth generation owned.
Yeah.
Been in Fort Smith since 1908. So another local dealership.
Absolutely.
Another local business. Hey, thanks for joining us on the Lions Den. I'm Jimmy Haas, Coach Ryan McAdams. We look forward to having you in the stands at the Stubblefield on the next home game. Got a couple of road games and Thanksgiving to take care of until then. So we'll be back next Monday with another edition of the Lions Den.